Hey, I've been having a talk with a lot. I've been having a talk with everybody. And people are a little bit concerned that goddesses are so sexual and powerful. And how can the human be amazing and spectacular? So, that's a conversation. That's an issue. How can a small, tiny human female be spectacular compared to a goddess that wants to mess around with a man? This is where you learn the beauty of the art of competition. Competitive reality is fun. You think it don't happen? It happens. When you get to heaven, they teach you how to be so competitive because it's fun. It's fun for God to tell you, wow, you're a human and you made it to heaven. Don't you want to compete with these angels? Maybe see if you can save a baby just as good as an angel. Maybe one day better than an angel. Now, could you save babies better than angels that have spent trillions and trillions of years living and dying for the love of a baby? Well, it might take you a while, but see, that's the fun of it. God is fun and amazing and good and spectacular. And God's love, if you want to try to be like an angel, be better than an angel, be like God, be better than God. Now, is it realistically possible? That's not the point. It's fun. God's like the fun of anyone can be anything. Now, did God have to earn his title from zero? And it's pretty impossible to earn. Well, if I was a mother with respect for myself, probably. Because why? One day you'd have a conversation as to why a god gets to be a god and fly and create a heaven and create planets and create humans. Why does God get to create everything if he didn't have to work so hard from nothing to have that title and that ability and that honor? Well, I am, in fact, a mother queen god with pride in who and what we are as gods. And as a mother, I set the stage. And every child I had to earn that title and earn that right. Now, that said, I've had kids that have turned on me. So they might earn a fancy title and then turn bad. Sadly, freedom of choice. Temptation and freedom of choice in a bad direction, and anything can turn bad. And it's sad, but it does happen. You know what? Yeah, the title God is very impossible to get, but it's a title and a job and a responsibility, and it can be earned. It can be gotten to, and it can be found. Now, how far, how long? Probably quite a ways, but the fun is that gods won't tell you how hard it is to actually become a god, and gods won't tell you how hard it is to become an angel. Gods are so fun and fun and fun. They just want you to try and always compete and always try your hardest and always compete and have fun and try your hardest. So gods will possess and control everything all the time. So it's really fun to go to work with gods. And it's really fun to be challenging and compete with angels. And everything's always so fun. So, in case you want to think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen, you'd be amazed. If you ever do get to the island of gods, you would be dumbfounded at how fun reality can actually be, hanging out with gods. But, until you get there, that part's kind of hard to explain. But you could ask them through my queen, my queen, my queen. They'll show you in a vision or a dream. Or they'll just open your brain with their powers and show you. And it's pretty fun stuff, pretty cool stuff. You know what? What is sexual competition? See, that would be fun. Gods would think it was fun. Gods would wonder whether you want to compete with the sexual powers of an angel or whether you want to compete with the sex powers of a goddess. And, some girls like a big man and some girls like a little man. Some boys like big girls and some boys like little boys or little girls or little boys sometimes. So It doesn't necessarily matter that you're not a goddess, because you might end up some human with powers that are different and fun and kind of a weird pizzazz compared to everybody else. You could end up a human with some kind of quirky powers, and everybody just likes your quirky powers more than everything else. Also, just because somebody wants to do some kind of sexual fun thing with a god doesn't mean they wouldn't still do something sexually fun with a child of a god that's much smaller than a god. And doesn't mean they wouldn't do something with maybe a powerful spirit that is still smaller than a god and an angel. So see, like liking something big and small, you might like something very powerful on Monday, but maybe on Wednesday you'd prefer something with very little small powers. So see, competition is fun, but being happy with a lot of different things is fun. So, when you think that you're a human and some goddess or god's going to come into the area and somehow you're not going to be able to be a female with a boyfriend ever again, that's not very realistic. Because girls can still have fun and jump into the ocean with a bunch of gods and become a billion things. And it could still be fun and wonderful and spectacular and amazing for everybody. And that is the joy of life. Oh, yeah.